Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Let's jump into the video. KULR stock, a lot of people have been asking me, talk about KULR, talk about KULR, talk about KULR. The market as a whole pumped on Friday. A lot of green, especially in robotics, as you can see here. Robotics, 138%. You also had another stock here, CRNC, in the AI sector, pump 100% plus. KULR technology, we know that's related to space technology more than anything, the battery side of things. We know that's the future, going into space. Space wars, that's going to be a thing too. You know that's going to be a thing. Space wars, right? You think China's just going to sit back and go, oh yeah, just let them take over space. So that's going to make things fun. And war is always going to benefit companies like KULR. I'm not saying there's going to be a space war, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems far-fetched right now. But look at the technology we have today that would have seemed far-fetched back then, like 100 years ago, even 40 years ago, quite frankly. Since technology wasn't really prominent until recently, as in 20 years ago. So with KULR technology here, a lot of people said, hey, if it doesn't hold 3, it's gonna drop. I do have support and resistance marked here. It does have to hold 3. If it doesn't hold 3, it's gonna come down to 250. Which I know some people are also on the other side. They're like, hey, I'm just waiting for this to come down to 250. That's what they're waiting for. Let me look at the RSI. I rarely use the RSI, but I am curious because I know some people do look at that. They should, has it cooled down? It has cooled down, actually. It is down here at 52 to 46. Let me see if, that's the lowest we've come. Last time we came down that low, we did bounce, actually. Okay, I just wanted to take a look at the RSI. I rarely use it, but I'm like, has this even cooled down along with the other stocks, or does it need more downside still? Monday, I would watch for some dip buying at $3, see if buyers step in again. But obviously set a stop loss. You don't want to hold a bag on this one all the way down to $2. Some people bought at $5. I told them, I'm like, hey, don't just blindly throw money around. I have a guy in my Discord who keeps throwing money around blindly, and he'll make 20% on like LAES, but then he'll lose 20% on KULR, and vice versa. He just throws money around. He's just throwing spaghetti at the wall, and he gets lucky on some, gets unlucky on some, and but if he had a strategy, he would lose less and make more. So he's learning. He's learning. That's just how it is, right? That's the name of the game. KULR stock, I'm gonna buy on if it retests $3. Like if this should hold here, especially with the MACD. Not saying it is, but I'll be looking. Ah, yeah, $3 is looking good here. The MACD did cross under. As long as we bounce here, we should see the crossover back to the other side, which usually means momentum to the upside. Here's the crossover on this candle right there. Look at that candle. It almost looks similar to the one from from this December 18th, not April. We got the crossover, nice big green candle with a wick on top, and then we continued. It looks very similar, but probably less volume, right? Is what I'm imagining. Yeah, a lot less volume. So another crossover right here on a ton of volume, and we just trended from there. So the crossover on the MACD just means, hey, momentum and buyers are in control. We should have a green day to follow. So look for that crossover on the MACD. Look for a crossover on that. That would be the safest way to get in, the safest entry, because it's about getting the best entry possible. That's why I haven't bought in. My signals aren't there yet. Either you buy the dip at $3 because you believe it's going to hold, or number 2, you wait for the crossover, because it's possible we just continue down. A lot of people who bought down there nice and cheap, you think they're not going to sell? There are people who are going to sell. There are. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. They bought like at 30, 50 cents. They're going to sell. And I was looking through the financials here real quick. It looks like we should have a beat overall for the year. They should have over 10 million in total revenue. Is what I would expect to see for 2024. And going into 2025, we would see even more revenue for that. So the revenues look good. They're growing over the long term. As you can see, 2019 to 2023, they've grown from from 830K to 9.83 million. We should see 10 million plus for 2024. So it's looking good in terms of, the bottom line. Although I don't believe they're Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not. Their net income is definitely negative still. But hey, we're betting on the future here, so it makes sense that they're not profitable just yet. But we would expect them to be in the future. Total assets to liabilities looking good here as well. They have way more assets than liabilities, so I'm not concerned about them having to constantly dilute. Although they'll probably raise money anyways, right? With these inflated share prices, short interest isn't that high. I've been seeing short interest of 7% to 10%, so uh, it's not really anything significant. I don't think we'll get a short squeeze. If anything, we'll move with the market and bounce. That's about it, because the market started bouncing. Nvidia has an investor technology conference or something, so that's also bullish. That's why Nvidia is pumping as well after failing to create new highs for a while. Yeah, the color stock Reddit. I didn't know that was a thing. I don't really look at Reddit, or I don't really look at anything other than PRs, and yeah, that's about it. Just the PRs, and I'll do my due diligence on the financials and all that. But I don't like being influenced by other people. Let me put it that way. I don't watch other finance channels other than to see what I can do better. But like, I don't really listen to their analysis, because I'm going to stick to what works for me, and I just don't want to be influenced by others. But I am curious here. New job openings a day ago. Shout out to No Policy 5193. KULR just opened new hardware jobs. The space industry is set for massive growth. They're taking this very seriously. Yeah, no, I still believe, yes, I agree with this. The space sector is going to be huge. And the military side of things too. I mean, yeah, like I said, we've been here before. History repeats. What was it? Nuclear winter, Cold War. There we go. Like space race. Like it's always this competition between the countries is good. It's good for everyone. It pushes things forward, innovation, all that. So I agree with the space industry being set for massive growth, but that doesn't mean you just blindly throw money. Like I don't believe in just blindly. Oh, I'm just gonna blindly throw money at it. No, 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 no. Wait for it to bottom out, or wait for the crossover in the MACD to take advantage of the momentum if it's not a failure crossover, and have a strategy, have a stop loss, all that good stuff. It's about getting the best bang for your buck, my friends, or the best entry if you're not buying as cheap as possible. Morningstar rated KULR 5 stars and undervalued with a 5.75 fair value. I am curious about the analyst ratings here. I get there are a lot of people out there with a lot more money than me selling KULR after they've made a decent profit. Decent? They did not make a decent profit. They make huge profits. That's underplaying it, because a lot of people bought down there under $1 and it went to 5. So they made well over 500, maybe even 1,000+% depending on where they bought. If they bought it at 30 cents, absolutely they made bank. Definitely not a decent profit. Some people made ridiculous profit off of this. And there's going to be people who sell. They're going to see this coming down from $5 to 250, and they're going to be like, I think I'm just going to get out. So, and I can't blame them. So we could see more downside because of that. But we'll see. We'll see how the market reacts. That's why I said the best entry point, if you're not going to wait for the bottom, is the MACD crossover. As I just showed you, every time it's been a crossover, it's been money. I will consider selling some at 10 because it will be there in 2025. I hold a boatload, and this is life-changing play. Yeah, the short interest isn't high enough for us to get a huge squeeze. This isn't Mullen, or well, not Mullen. Well, Mullen was it Mullen a meme stock? Probably was. I don't remember. Yeah, no, I bullish long term. Short term, like I said, I'm waiting for confirmation from my signals. Like I'm just not gonna blindly jump in. Yeah. So wait for the crossover, as I showed you. That's the safest entry. Like you want to get the best entry, wait for the crossover. Like that works on Nvidia very well as well. Let me see, where's Nvidia? Why can't I find Nvidia right now? So Nvidia recently crossed over right here on the MACD. You can see big green candle to end the day. So if you bought it, if you saw the crossover, you bought it open, you would have made like $5 per share. Or if you bought calls, you would have closed. You would have made way more, obviously. So that's what I mean by the crossover on the MACD being very reliable. It's not reliable on all stocks, just to be clear, but there are stocks that are very reliable in terms of getting good entry points. So if you bought like, let's say you bought calls, long dated calls, I mean, you're in the green, and you're just going to keep going in the green as long as this keeps going up, right? And you use the MACD as the entry point. So Just wanted to show you that I'm not afraid to give out my strategies. I actually have a strategy because I actually have skin in the game, and I look for these opportunities. But I also look for best entry as well. So there you go, guys. That is it for the video. I know a lot of people in my Discord have been buying. Unfortunately, they've been buying KULR stock, averaging down from like $4 or $5. And I keep telling them, hey, I did not alert that. I'm being transparent and telling you right now, even on video, like wait, patience does pay. You can ask the people that bought at the bottom. You know what they had to do down here when it was sitting at 20 to 30 cents? They had to wait months, my friends, for them to even make the huge gains. Look at that. They had to wait a long time. They had the patience not only to hold months before the big run up, but they also had the patience to hold for the big run up. And now the question is, clearly some people are going to get out, but are there going to be enough longs on this to hold a bottom for the next pump? This is how it is, right? This is how the market is. Let me show you SoundHound before I go. Where's SoundHound? I can't believe my watch list is so huge now that it's hard for me to find stocks. I actually have to search them. SoundHound, perfect example of it pumps, then it eventually comes back down nice and cheap and it goes sideways, right? And then you have to wait a couple months before the next big pump, and there's the next big pump, and the cycles repeat. You can see that very clearly on Palantir, perfect example. Palantir, AI play, military play, whatever you want to call it, same thing. Pumps, sideways action, pumps, sideways action, pumps, rinse and repeat. You want to buy when it gets cheap, or again on the crossover. That is it for the video. The markets are very simple to trade, but you gotta have discipline. You gotta have patience. And one last thing is, we started off the year well in the Discord. So many people making money right now. Got out of right fast, easy, painless, $120 per profit. Just sitting on the position. Sold all of my AITX. That one went up 50%. Okay, I just made 22%. This is amazing. I'm going to make another 20%. Love your channel. I'm joining the Discord. And new here, thanks, bro, for doing hard work. Just bought 250K shares on your recommendation. I followed your book's principles today. For those of you who don't know, I do have a little like 12-page booklet in the description. It's free. It's a Word document. You can read it while taking a dump. And it'll just tell you my journey and how I got to where I am today. And it'll tell you my strategies, kind of like the short version. I followed your book's principles today with KULR, took profits, scaling out 75% of precision with small gain, kept 25% writing. So as you can see, this guy's learning here. And shout out to you, Hero React. I've seen your comments. I read them. I read the comments. But man, seeing it tick up after selling gives me that sick FOMO feeling. That should go away. You should never have FOMO. In fact, you should be like, no, give it to me cheap. I want it cheap. You should be yelling at the stock market, I want this cheap. The FOMO feeling, I remember feeling that when I was less experienced, but it goes away. It goes away. Eventually you realize, like, no, it's better to wait for the best entry possible, or for the bottom, whichever comes first. Even though I know I followed the rules about discipline and position sizing, how do you deal with these emotions when you make technically correct exits? Still learning to be okay with 20% gains like you wrote. Thanks for the knowledge. So shout out to Hero React. Again, I do read the comments. Yeah, emotions, you got to be, just be a machine. If stock at bottom, buy. Else, don't buy. It's a simple if-else statement. That's how I trade, because I studied computer science, got a degree, and did, web development at a front-end developer, like a short stint in that, at a digital marketing agency in Chicago. So, like, that's kind of just how I think. I think, like, I guess, like an algorithm. If stock at bottom, buy. If stock crossover on the MACD, as I just showed you, buy. Else, don't buy. Like, we're going to make money and lose a lot less that way, trading like a machine. So the emotions, you just got to leave it out of, you got to leave emotions out of it, and you will make money and you will lose less. Keep in mind what I'm saying right now. You're going to lose still, but less. You're not going to be like that guy in my Discord who, made 20% on one stock but lost 20 on the other because they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall. He's growing his account, but if he had a strategy, he'd be losing a lot less, and a lot less drawdown, and a lot less time to recovery. This is getting too technical. That's it for the video. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you want to join the Discord, patreon.com/shades and trades. I will see you guys in the next one.